Hi everyone, this is Tish Aitken, and I'm here to discuss the new moon in Virgo that takes place on August 30th at 6:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 6 degrees and 47 minutes of Virgo. Now, it's interesting because in contrast to the beginning of the month or the very end of July on the 31st, we had all of these planets in Leo, really the first part of August, and now there's a stellium in the sign of Virgo. So the new moon chart has Virgo ascendant at 9 degrees. We have Mercury in Virgo, which is how we communicate and process our thoughts. We have the moon and the sun conjunct in Virgo, by definition being a new moon. We have Mars, which is how we take action, also in the sign of Virgo. And I think I'm leaving something out, but I believe that's a lot of Virgo. And so that is giving a much different energy than Leo, which is so expressive and creative. Virgo is a sign that is ruled by Mercury. It's a mutable earth sign. It's very much about detail and could be about perfectionism and communication, and it's a practical earth sign. And just as we had the new moon in Leo conjunct Venus, it wasn't exactly conjunct, but they were close. And in the full moon chart with Aquarius, that full moon in Aquarius, Venus and the sun were exactly conjunct. In this new moon in Virgo chart, the Venus and the sun are also conjunct. So we keep having this stellium shift over. And this is also a really magical new moon. It's maybe more of a cautious one where Leo might just charge into things, but it's still a very positive new moon in that where in the beginning of the month we had the planets in Leo squaring Uranus, giving us jolts of surprise and perhaps breakthroughs and revelations, but in a bit of a jarring way. And in this new moon chart, right before, on August 28th, Mars forms a trine to Uranus, and that's a very innovative energy and really good to get things accomplished and with flashes of brilliance. And then the sun forms a trine to Uranus on August 29th, the day before the new moon, and that's really happy, innovative energy and very lucky. And this new moon itself forms a trine to Uranus, and Venus forms a trine to Uranus. So this is really fun, innovative energy. Now, Venus in the chart forms a trine to Saturn, and that's stabilizing energy, but it also forms an opposition, albeit it's a wide opposition, to Neptune. And Saturn, which is how we structure things, is in its domicile in Capricorn, and Neptune, which is the dream, is in its domicile in Pisces. So they're forming a sextile as an enabling aspect. But with Venus forming an opposition to Neptune, there can be a bit of confusion, even though there is a lot of creativity. Could also imbue the creativity to this. I think the fact that there is so much Virgo in the chart and Virgo rising, and that the planets, most of them fall, all of which fall in, aside from Venus, in the 12th house, which is the Pisces house, very much the house of selflessness and charity. There is a creative tone, but very much about helping others as well. Hopefully that is a direction people choose to take with it. And there is a grand trine. It's a bit wide, but the sun and the moon are making an exact trine to Uranus, and they're both trining Saturn in Capricorn. It's a little under 8 degrees, so some might say that's a bit too wide of an orb, but let's take it because it's a very lucky energy, and it's one where it's a facilitating energy. So when the planets in Leo formed a challenging square, it may have gotten us out of things we needed to get out of or woke us up out of things, but again, in a bit of a stressful way. This is much more easygoing. This is where things come in out of the blue, but in an opportune way. And I think that it's very nice energy, and we still have many planets in their domicile. The sun will no longer be in its domicile because it will have left Leo, but Venus also is in its detriment in Virgo, or it's in its fall because it's exalted in Pisces, but it falls in the second house where it's in its rulership, because it does rule the second house in astrology. So there's a lot to work with. I think that this month of August has a lot more opportunity for us to get things going. And again, now Mercury will be direct, which rules this chart. It'll be out of its shadow. It clears that in the middle of the month. Jupiter, which is how we magnetize good fortune into our lives, will have stationed direct at 14 degrees of the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius, and it will be in full momentum by the new moon on the 30th. Uranus will now be retrograde, but that's retrograde for several months a year, and that's not as big a deal as I think Mercury and Jupiter. So again, we have a very lucky new moon, and the 12th house, where most of these planets in Virgo fall, is the house of dreams. That's the Pisces house in astrology. So, focusing, writing down your dreams, focusing on what comes to you through your intuition and dreams and music, and channeling out through film and creativity, whatever that is for you. But I think this is a nice new moon. I love the Grand Trine, and I wish you a lot of luck. Thank you very much.